that laugh, that voice, that hair. For 6 seasons, The Nanny dominated Wednesday nights on CBS, pulling nearly 12 million viewers at its peak and airing in over 90 countries around the world. What most people don't realize is that the show almost got canceled after its first season, and the woman who saved it just finished leading the longest actors' strike in Hollywood history. This is what happened to the cast of The Nanny, and some of these stories took turns nobody saw coming. All 7 main cast members are covered here, starting with the woman who created it all. Number 1, Fran Drescher as Fran Fine. Fran Drescher didn't just star in The Nanny. She co-created it after pitching a CBS executive on a transatlantic flight, with no actual pitch prepared. Her elevator concept was simple: the sound of music, except instead of Julie Andrews, it's me. 36 years old when the show premiered, Drescher was already a survivor of a violent 1985 home invasion that shaped everything that came after. When the show ended in 1999, a 2-year nightmare began. Doctors kept misdiagnosing her symptoms until the news finally arrived. Uterine cancer. That experience didn't break her, and what it did instead was radicalize her. The Cancer Schmancer movement launched in 2007 with a single mission of fighting for early detection, but her biggest chapter was still ahead. October 2021 brought the SAG-AFTRA presidency, and July 2023 brought a strike that lasted 118 days, the longest in union history. Studio CEOs later admitted that nobody expected her to walk away with what they called a billion-dollar deal. At 68, Drescher is everywhere. She reprised her Spinal Tap role in Spinal Tap 2, starred opposite Timothée Chalamet in A24's Marty Supreme, and stepped down from SAG-AFTRA in 2025 after endorsing Sean Astin as her successor. A Broadway musical adaptation of The Nanny remains in development, though she jokes the title would have to be The Granny if she played Fran Fine again. And then there's the man who appeared opposite her for 145 of 146 episodes, who turned out to be actual British royalty. Number 2, Charles Shaughnessy as Maxwell Sheffield. Charles Shaughnessy already had soap opera royalty status before The Nanny, having spent 8 years on Days of Our Lives. What American audiences didn't know was that he's genuinely British, educated at Eton and Cambridge with a law degree. When the show aired in the UK, viewers actually wrote in to complain about his fake English accent, not realizing the accent was completely real. Then 2007 brought something unexpected. His second cousin died, and Shaughnessy inherited a hereditary title, becoming the 5th Baron Shaughnessy and an actual member of the British aristocracy. The man who played a fictional Broadway producer named Sheffield became a real-life lord. 70 years old now, Shaughnessy never stopped working. Days of Our Lives welcomed him back. General Hospital cast him as villain Victor Cassadine, and Mad Men gave him a recurring role as St. John Powell. A Daytime Emmy arrived in 2002 for voicing a goldfish on Disney's Stanley, which might be the strangest sentence in this entire video. September 2025 brought a dinner reunion with Fran Drescher. Their friendship still intact after 3 decades. The man who played his butler, on the other hand, took the opposite approach entirely. Number 3, Daniel Davis as Niles. Daniel Davis brought serious theatrical credentials to The Nanny at 47, including the original Broadway cast of Amadeus and a recurring role as Professor Moriarty on Star Trek: The Next Generation. After the show ended, Davis retreated from public view more than any other cast member. A Tony nomination arrived in 2000 for Wrong Mountain. Prestigious stage work continued in La Cage aux Folles and Noises Off. And Christopher Nolan cast him in The Prestige in 2006. Interviews remained rare, and social media presence stayed minimal. 80 years old now, Davis still acts, appearing in The Good Fight, Elsbeth, and reprising Moriarty in Star Trek Picard. Fans can request personalized messages through his Cameo profile. He remains the most private member of the main cast, which makes C.C. Babcock's real-life path even more striking by comparison. Number 4, Lauren Lane as C.C. Babcock. Lauren Lane played Maxwell's sharp-tongued business partner for all 6 seasons after recurring roles on Hunter and L.A. Law, and 5 years with Tim Robbins' theater company, The Actors Gang. When the show ended, Lane made a choice most actors wouldn't. She walked away from Hollywood almost entirely, and her screen credits after 1999 can be counted on one hand. A sitcom called Partners, 2 short films made 18 years apart, and that's it. Texas became home again, where she raised her daughter and built a completely different career. A tenured professorship and career coaching position at Texas State University keep her busy now, along with directing plays and mentoring the next generation. The virtual cast table read in April 2020 brought her back briefly, but otherwise she keeps the lowest profile of anyone from the show. 65 years old now, Lane seems at peace with a choice that most people in her position couldn't imagine making. The Sheffield kids, meanwhile, scattered in 3 very different directions. Number 5, Nicole Thom as Maggie Sheffield. Nicole Thom was just 15 when The Nanny premiered, already carrying credits from both Beethoven films alongside her twin brother David. After the show wrapped, Thom carved out a niche nobody expected. She became the first actress ever to voice Supergirl in animation, appearing in Superman, the animated series, and Justice League. Steady work followed in Gotham, Masters of Sex, and About a Boy, though household name status never returned. 47 now, Thom keeps acting. Tubi's Prisoner of Love featured her as Vicky White in the true crime jailbreak story, and Worst Cooks in America brought her to competition TV in 2024. August 2025 saw her reunite with Fran Drescher and Renee Taylor at a New York theater, proof that the Nanny family still keeps in touch. Her TV brother, though, made the most dramatic pivot of anyone in the cast. Number 6, Benjamin Salisbury as Brighton Sheffield. Benjamin Salisbury was 12 when he started playing the wisecracking middle child, and a Young Artist Award arrived in 1996 for his performance. Teen Celebrity Jeopardy pitted him against Kirsten Dunst and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where he won just $1 but raised $15,000 for charity. After the show ended, Salisbury enrolled at American University, studied broadcast journalism, and interned for House Minority Leader Richard Gephardt. Domino's Pizza commercials in 2006 mark his last acting credit. The most recent confirmed reports place him as Director of Operations at Universal Studios Hollywood. Marriage came in 2006, divorce in 2013, and children along the way. 45 years old now, Salisbury represents the cast member who left acting most completely behind and built something entirely different. The youngest Sheffield went in the exact opposite direction. Number 7, Madeline Zima as Gracie Sheffield. Madeline Zima was 7 years old when she started playing the precocious Gracie, spending her entire childhood on that soundstage. Growing up brought a deliberate choice to shatter her innocent image. Showtime's Californication cast her in a provocative lead role as Mia, a boundary-pushing character that stood as the polar opposite of Gracie Sheffield. The statement was clear. The child actor era was over. 40 now. Zima has built a legitimate adult career across Heroes, Doom Patrol, Bombshell, You, Hacks, and High Potential. The year 2018 brought a short film she wrote and directed called Warm Human Magic, which earned a festival nomination. Of all the Sheffield kids, Zima stayed deepest in the industry. The Sheffield family was only half the equation, though. Fran Fine came with her own clan, starting with the mother who stole every scene she appeared in. Number 8, Renee Taylor as Sylvia Fine. Renee Taylor played Fran's food-obsessed, boundary-challenged mother Sylvia in nearly 100 episodes. Already 60 years old when the show premiered and carrying decades of stage and screen comedy behind her. What makes Taylor remarkable is that she never stopped. While other cast members retired, pivoted, or faded from view, Taylor kept going year after year and decade after decade. Most actors her age would have stepped back long ago. 91 years old as of March 2025, Renee Taylor is still acting. Amazon's Upload featured her in 2023, and the 2025 Dramedy Magic Hour has her in a role. August 2025 brought a reunion with Drescher and Nicole Thom at a New York theater for her own play, Dying is No Excuse. At 91, she's not just acting, she's headlining. Sylvia's mother on the show lived even longer on screen, and the actress who played her left a legacy worth remembering. Number 9, Anne Morgan Gilbert as Yetta. Anne Morgan Gilbert played Yetta, Fran's scatterbrained grandmother who couldn't tell the difference between Maxwell Sheffield and President Kennedy. TV royalty status preceded her, earned through playing Millie Helper on The Dick Van Dyke Show in the 1960s. 65, when The Nanny premiered, Gilbert brought 5 decades of comedic timing to every scene. Work continued after the show ended, with appearances in Seinfeld, Grey's Anatomy, and getting on. Full retirement never came. June 14th, 2016 brought her passing from pancreatic cancer at 87 years old. An episode of Life in Pieces carried a dedication to her memory. Of the main recurring cast, Gilbert is the only one no longer with us, but her work as Yetta remains one of the show's most beloved elements. One more member of Fran's inner circle remains, and her real-life story is the hardest to track down. Number 10, Rachel Chagall as Val Torriello. Rachel Chagall played Val, Fran's loyal but not so bright best friend from Flushing, appearing throughout the show's entire run as Fran's confidant and comic relief sidekick. After The Nanny ended, Chagall's trail goes cold. A handful of shows followed, including What I Like About You and Strong Medicine, but her last confirmed screen credit lands around 2006. Nearly 2 decades of silence followed, With no interviews, no reunion appearances, and no social media presence anyone can find, the most likely explanation is the simplest one. Chagall chose family over fame and stepped away from acting entirely to focus on her personal life. In an industry that chews people up, sometimes the happiest ending is the one that happens off camera. 10 cast members, 10 completely different paths. 6 seasons and 146 episodes created a show that still resonates 30 years later. One more chapter remains unwritten, though. The Nanny Broadway musical stays in development, with Drescher confirming in 2025 that it's moving at a very healthy clip. No premiere date exists, no casting has been announced, just the promise that Fran Fine's story isn't finished yet.